Hey yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Chad bringing y'all another video. We outside with it. I'm trying to get that sunlight, you feel me? But in this video, I just want to talk about a revelation that I came to. Well, not that I came to, but basically like God downloaded into me. And this revelation just has to do with validation. And when I say validation, I don't mean validation like the normal validation, but what I really truly do mean is validation like um, what the world is asking for. So as far as the world goes, a lot of people in this world are seeking validation. Specific groups that I can say, like let's say LGBTQ is seeking validation, Black Lives Matter is seeking validation, liberals seeking validation, Republicans, conservatives seeking validation. Everybody's seeking validation. So I don't just want to do this for just one side, right? But when it comes to the validation, right, it's like it starts off like this. It's like the people want to be validated. They don't actually validate themselves. So they don't already accept themselves. So then they go, well, we need to be accepted, right? And so they go to outside sources. Now, depending on the group, they may go to an outside source. I would say the only source that you could be validated from and effectively feel good about it and it makes sense is God. But we're going to leave that on the table, right? We're going to leave God right there on the table. And we're just going to go with people seeking validation from outside sources, meaning like other people, um, other organizations, the government, people in the world, just anything like that in general, their jobs. And so what happens is they're seeking so much validation from all these outside sources. And because people have a difference of opinion, like the LGBT, they want to be accepted and validated, but then they force it upon people in certain circumstances. They are creating these laws, like they're getting mad about the parental rights and education because they're like, we want to be able to tell kids about this. And kindergartners through third graders, Black Lives Matter wants to be validated. They're talking about defund the police, and we need to be taught critical race theory, and we're victims and there's an oppressor. And Republicans are like, we need to be validated, but liberals are like, no, be quiet, we're gonna censor and silence you. And then liberals, honestly, they're probably the only group that gets validated because they control and have power over so much. Young Ripper 59, shout out to him, I watch his content. He's always saying the quote, let me actually pull it up because I typed it on a YouTube video yesterday, because it's really a really good quote. And the quote is basically, the left only sees legitimacy and power and control, or controlling the narrative. And that's why in certain circumstances, like with Twitter, once Elon bought Twitter, they realized that their power and control, their narrative, all the censorship, the algorithms that they've been using are part of the problem of why people can't get the validation they need and different things like that. And so as I'm just looking around the world, I'm like, man, like the reason people are having so many issues out here in the world is because they're seeking validation and they're looking in all the wrong directions. Like I said, they're looking for the government to do it. They're trying to get it from their own selves. But the thing about validation is you can't validate yourself, because no matter how much you try to validate yourself, it's a fine line. Like, you could be like, yeah, I'm da da da, I'm da da da. But to others, you may not be that. And you can't force others to validate you. And that's why, let me lick my lips, I don't want my lips ashy. And that's why I believe that the greatest form of validation is God. Because just like when you're in church, right? God says, come as you are. You don't have to be dressed any special way. You don't have to be doing this, doing that. Just come as you are. And God validates you at the point you're at. You could be in complete darkness like I once was. And he said, Chad, I'm going to validate you. You smoked weed, you did this, but you can turn your life around for the better. And I said, God, you know what? I knew what I was doing was a problem, but you validated me. You addressed that, yes, Chad, you struggle with this, but I can see you through. Same thing for LGBT. God can validate, okay, yeah, you may participate in these behaviors, but you can turn it around. Black Lives Matter. Yeah, yes, black people have gone through the struggle back in the day during slavery, but things will get better. For Republicans and conservatives, yeah, the liberals may be censoring you. Yeah, people's views on traditional stuff may be changing, but we can make a comeback. Same for liberals. Yeah, people don't understand your worldview. Yeah, you guys have been censoring people. Yeah, you think some people are bigots. Yeah, you think this and that. But I can validate you. And it kind of reminds me of the verse that he said, and when I say he said, I mean God. And it's the verse Mathew 11:28-30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And when I say all that, and when God says, come all to me, you who are weary, I will give you rest. My yoke is easy, my burden is light, for I am gentle and humble in heart. He's basically validating you. He's saying, I know you're weary from looking for this validation. I know you've been trying to get it elsewhere. I know people have hurt you. I know this organization isn't really for you. I know these people don't truly identify with you. But come to me. Come to me. My yoke is easy. Come to me, you who are weary. I know you've been bogged down by this. I know that. He's there for us. And that's why I feel like also the Antichrist comes into play. And when I say Antichrist, he's going to come into play because a part of why people don't get the validation they need or they don't want to go to God for it is because God's one of those who he validates you. He says, I know who you are. I know how you act. I know what you've been doing. And I'm going to validate you. But out of the love of me accepting you for you, I ask that you love me back and follow my ways. And the thing about people is they don't want to follow God's ways because they truly don't really want the validation. Like, they want power and control. Thank you, God, for giving me that revelation just now. They want power and control because if it was about the validation, then they would let God give them the validation. They will follow his ways and see they don't need the rest of it. They just need God. But because they don't want to follow God's ways, they, like I said, they go externally. And one thing the Antichrist is going to do is, while people are so busy trying to go to the external, to people, governments, organizations, everything else under the sun, instead of God, they're going to be looking for someone who's external from them still. Because, like I said, if they're not going to God, they're going to try to seek the validation for themselves. But the only way they can get validation for themselves is by having power and control. And so the Antichrist is going to come. He's going to be an external source. And he's going to validate them. Because technically the Antichrist isn't going to tell you what you want isn't wrong. He's not going to tell you, oh, your lifestyle isn't the wrong lifestyle. The way you act is the way you shouldn't be acting. He's going to just validate them as they are, in the state they are. Because technically that's what they want. They want self-validation, but they want it through power and control. And like I said, the Antichrist is going to come and he's going to validate. He's going to validate them as they are without them having changed their ways, without them having realized that the world doesn't revolve around you. The world doesn't revolve around you. You can't have always power and control. Not everyone's going to agree with you. Not everyone's going to like you. But we all come from the same creator. The same creator loves you as you are. He'll take you as you are. He'll give it literally says, and you will find rest for your souls. Not you may find, you may stumble upon it, on Tuesday and Wednesday, you'll have a little rest. No, you will find rest for your souls. All that searching outside, all these external factors that are not God, you're never gonna find the validation that you want. And yeah, that's really the revelation that that the Lord had given me, is just that the Antichrist and everything that's going on in the world is a lot of groups and people all seeking validation for themselves from external sources who will never give them that validation. And it just is what it is. And the only person who will give you the validation you truly desire and want, whether you know it or not, it only could be God. He's all-knowing. He knows you. He knows you before you were born. He knows the hairs on your head. And he will give your soul rest. You don't have to go to any other place to get that validation. But once he validates you and you realize who validated you, out of love, all he asks is that we follow his ways. But like I said, a lot of people don't want to follow his ways, and they'd rather do what they want to do. And the Antichrist is going to come and give them the do what you want type of lifestyle. And that's who they'll be following. But yeah, man, leave your thoughts down below. I just want to make this video just because this video had to be made. It's a download I received. I was told to upload it. So yeah, man, let me know what you guys think. And as always, it's been your boy Chad, and I'm out. Peace.